All right, so in this video, we're gonna be drawing ginger people. And no, you're not gonna need your red markers for this one. It's ginger root people. Funny enough, I'm gonna draw with my red pencil. Coincidence. So I briefly mentioned it in the level 1 project that you could take the ginger random blobs part of that project and then start making them into characters. That part of it, you can turn the knob of difficulty to however high you want. You know, you could just draw random ginger blobs, then you can start making them kind of humanoid. You know, you got a blobby torso, and then you plop on some limbs and a head, and you got a humanoid. And then the pose is kind of an afterthought. You just try to like kind of put things together. Then, to step it up one notch, you could start thinking of dynamic poses to put them in. You know, and you don't have to invent the dynamic poses. You could just find some photos online of people in dynamic poses and then draw just blobby characters in those poses. And by making them into ginger people instead of human people, you're actually making it easier on yourself. You're taking away the distraction of making perfect, you know, accurate anatomy and accurate proportions, and instead you're just focusing on mass, right? Because these are just blobs, and so you don't have to worry about anatomy and proportions. You can design it however you think it looks good, and that allows you to focus on this cross contour, which is that's what we're trying to practice. If you are gonna do it from photos, when you're choosing your photos, make sure that you have some depth in those photos. So what I mean is the limbs should be coming towards you a little bit, or the body should be kind of going in or out or twisting, or there should be depth. It can't just be like a static pose like this, or someone running sideways like this, like nothing's coming at you. And so there's really not much opportunity for that cross contour. And that third level of difficulty is then you could start thinking of, okay, I want a specific character. Like I want like a big monster ogre type dude with a club, and he's like coming at me or something. And then that's a little bit more specific. I'm adding more restraints to myself. And so there's more chances for it to be wrong because I have something in mind. And if it's not that, then it's not correct. But if you're just drawing random humanoid blobs, then it's like, ooh, it's fine. It's like no matter what you do, you're kind of correct. And you're just using that as a fun way to practice visualizing form, which is still very useful. So anyway, up to you to where you turn that difficulty knob. I'm gonna start with basically humanoid, but not too worried about initially the character type or the exact pose. I'm just gonna start feeling my way through it. Okay, so this is slightly easier. So I'm gonna start with a torso, and I'm gonna make sure there's a little bit of leaning back. So it's just kind of a blob. So I got like a rib cage thing, little hips and belly, and then I got another blobby thing for a head coming over here. And I'm not thinking of the cross contour yet. I'm just kind of thinking of the shape I'm designing here. It's like, does it look good? Occasionally I could be like, oh yeah, maybe this is going back. And then there's a center here, so it's pointing that way. So there's the head. And then for the legs, I could say, okay, I like that this is going this way. So I'm thinking more of that two-dimensional shape and the gesture. So I want that leg to go back. And then maybe a big blob, right? The gingers, they get, some of them are thin and they get blobbier. And then for a foot, I'll just add like maybe a little branch. I kind of like how on ginger, I'll show you a little picture, you have on the ends like little knobs, and I could use that for like hands or fingers or toes or a nose. You know, it's kind of nice that on our body the same thing happens. We have these little knobs more at the extremities, so it's kind of cool. So this is going back, and then I want maybe this leg to come forward, but I'm just gonna draw a big blob. I want it to be coming at me, so I'll make it a little shorter. And it's really important in the beginning to be not too focused on that cross contour, just enough. Be like, yeah, I could tell this is going back just because I added that little thing at the bottom here. As I'm putting this one in, I'm wrapping it around this way so I know it's coming at me. But I'm not like completing all of those lines. I'm still in my exploration sketch phase because I want to be able to move things around and make the shape attractive. And it kind of looks like I've made a pose where he's like taking a big step or he's like jumping forward or something. So I'm not sure what to do with the arm here. Maybe they're going back or like up. Kind of like the idea of this twisting. So this arm is gonna go down. Yeah, let's do that. This one's going down. Big forearm blob. And then this one will come out towards me. Maybe a big blobby hand up here as well. And like, I'm just drawing blobs on top of blobs, trying to make them come together in a way that feels like there's depth. And notice I am drawing pretty light. You probably barely see this. And I kind of actually want to change this foot and point the toes down a little more. There you go. I like that. Makes it a little more dynamic. And then this one, I'll point it forward. But again, I'm just shifting blobs around. And then the more knobby things, maybe for fingers and toes. And I like the idea of these being somewhat random, like because Ginger is grown, right? It's not symmetrical. It's very organic and swaying, and nothing is perfect on it. And so I like the idea of like, if I do put fingers, that some of them are like either bigger or kind of at a weird angle or something. Okay, that's pretty fun. Maybe one for the elbow as well. Okay, once I got that, and I can visualize these, I can start thinking about what's the cross contour doing? How much is it going back away from me? This is going back a little bit. Not too much. Looks like this is also going back just a little bit. This part of the torso is going back a lot more. So I'm going to curve that significantly more than the head. And then in here, it's starting to kind of actually come down because I'm turning this. This is going away from me here. I can see the tops, so I'm turning it this way. There's the opposite curves. This one, this bottom is coming at me, whereas this one, the bottom is going away from me. Maybe I'll add one big toe over here. Yeah, you could have a lot of fun with these because it's kind of hard to go wrong unless you draw an ugly shape that's like too symmetrical, too flat, too boring. But we already practiced all that in the shape lesson. Again, go back and review that if you need to. In this project, we're practicing both. As we get further into the course, we're gonna have to juggle more and more things together in order for our drawings to look good. All right, so I think I'm at the part now where I want to clean it up. So I'm gonna switch over to my black pencil and just start cleaning it up, thinking about my line weight and just designing the shapes a little bit better now that I have this base. This is mainly to practice finishing drawings a little bit more and also bringing back that line quality. We haven't practiced it as much as I'd like to. And so let's try to complete these. So we got our kind of initial sketch, and now we come in and design these to be a little bit more interesting. So for example, this blob right here looks a little too symmetrical for me. I want to maybe straighten this one out a little bit, flatten it, and then make it a little bit thicker over here. See? And now it's not as symmetrical. It's a little bit more dynamic and interesting. And then just really clean, simple cross contour. Maybe a little knobbing on the kneecap. Felt like it just needed something there. And then a few over here on the top. And then you could choose like where you want to put the other axes. Like I do like maybe having one right here on the front, going down the front to kind of show a little bit more information. It shows that this is turning this way, and I'm also showing that this is pinching. It's getting thinner in here, getting wider out here. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. It's a nice little design for a leg. Little kneecap there as well. And then let's vary it up. I'm gonna actually add a bump right here. Okay, and then this foot, it feels like it's just coming right at us. So let's get that nice simple cross contour coming right at us, and we get that little point right there. That's probably the form that's most foreshortened. So I'm gonna add another cross contour right there, have them be close to each other. That also will help to increase that foreshortening effect. You see how these are flatter, farther apart. These are way more curvy, closer together. And so it feels like this is going down and then this is coming at us. Okay, happy with that. Then, oh, actually this back part of the leg is going away from us pretty significantly as well. So I'm gonna start the beginning of that curve, have it wrap around this way. And then this feels a little boring to me, so I'm gonna, let's see, I could add a little belly or something. Remember, I'm not drawing a torso. I could change this up to just be a little bit more organic and random, just to be a nice shape. And it, you know, it's a ginger root person. So I could even add another little segment here if I want to. And say, let's add a little kind of something that's like a shoulder over here. And then definitely a center line in order to show that, hey, this is twisting a little bit. S-curve like that. Dropping down away from us. And then I like the kind of repeated ovals on this because they're not symmetrical. Like there's the fingers make it, bring that asymmetry in there. So I kind of like that. So even in these little fingers, if I keep it clean, I could show a few little cross contour lines to describe where they're going. Maybe this one's coming at us here, but then maybe this one will have it going this way. Even with the center line, remember that you have to curve this all the way around to the other side. Unless you're drawing an actual corner, like on a person, there is an actual corner here, like the chin is pointy, so it's down and then straight back. But for this guy, I'm not drawing a chin, and so I just want to round this out to go back that way. So that I don't feel like there's a corner, I feel like it's just a round kind of, I don't know, flour sack type of shape in here. Occasionally just adding a little bit of randomness to these shapes. So I'm putting this one behind. Again, just a little bit of randomness, break the symmetry, and just to have fun with it. See how wacky I can make these things. Cool. Okay, I think this guy's done. I'm gonna do another one. And this time I'm gonna try to do something specific. Like, I wanna do that ogre thing that I mentioned, like the monster, like a big heavy body on top, maybe a small head. So this one I kinda just started adding blobs to it and it just ended up with this pose. And the next one, I'm gonna do it slightly with more intent. And so this is a little bit more difficult. So I have a specific character in mind. I mean, not that specific. It's more of a character type that I have in mind. Okay, so I got lots of room here, so I'm gonna try to fill up this space. Big guy, broad shoulders, maybe big belly. It's like it's a monster, so he's not slim. I mean, I guess monsters could be it could be anything, but I'm imagining more like an ogre type thing. Whoops, switch over to red. I want to be able to play around. So, big belly. Broad shoulders, maybe going this way. So I'm just throwing shapes down and see what happens. I mean, kind of seeing what happens, but I mean, I have this thing in mind where he's kind of lunging forward. He's got a bat up high. He's got a little head, and then this arm maybe coming out this way, a little towards us. I want this to be dynamic. So I want one arm coming this way, one arm going back. Maybe instead of the bat just being sideways like that, it should come towards us a little bit as well. So it's a little shorter. Shorter because of the foreshortening. It's going back, and we're seeing the top of the bat or the club. And a little nubby. Again, the nubs has little fingers holding the bat. Again, I'm sorry I'm drawing so light, but it's just this initial phase. So I want him to feel very grounded. So remember triangles. Remember that the triangles and squares, that's gonna ground him, give him stability. The square blockiness is gonna make him feel structured and heavy. And I am doing what I always do, just smudging my drawing around back here with my hand as I draw the thing over here. I typically, when I'm doing like a portrait or something, I like to start on the left side so I don't smudge my drawing, but that's all right. So I'm starting to get into like actual character territory. This is, I'm gonna bring this back to simple ginger route because I'm just like drawing anatomy here. I'm getting a little too advanced. I think I'm starting to think too much of actual monster and not just ginger. So I'm gonna bring it back, simplify some of this. Let's see, I want this to be like a huge hand. Get these nubby fingers in there, coming right at the camera. That's cool. And this right here, that feels so much like ginger. It's a little oval with a few knobs on the end. I like it. Very, very much thinking about the cross contours right now, how they overlap. When you have something that's really foreshortened, going heavy on the cross contours as you're constructing it or as you're sketching it in helps a lot, because when something's really foreshortened, it's not about its outer shape. The outer shape is so short that it's kind of obliterated. It's about the cross contour in those areas. So right in here, it's about how these cross contours overlap each other and how they go back in space. That's really going to show off that area. Yeah, that really adds so much volume here. It's starting to look like this guy is attacking this guy and he's running away. So I'm going to lead into that. I got to turn his head to look up at him a little bit, I think. If it feels like I need to do this more. And point his nose. We have like a downward pointing crooked nose. Arr! And this guy's like, oh no! Okay, let's jump over into this black pencil now and clean this up a little bit. I'm going to start with this front hand because it's got that most depth. It's the one I really want to emphasize. And I want to design these shapes to be really interesting and come towards us. So notice how up here I'm turning it this way, and then down here I actually went the other way because I want it to look like this finger is curving like that. Same with this one. I'm going to start with something like this, and then as it curves down, I'm going to curve it this way. To make it look like the hands are going like, ugh. Nice clean curve, just really feeling that wrap. Very strong on the sides right here. I'm really emphasizing this shape because if I just look at the big silhouette of this guy, I like how this triangle pops out of his body, and then this one comes out as well. And so by emphasizing the shape, it just makes the whole thing look a little bit more interesting. I don't want to just have like this vertical static shape. And so as I'm cleaning things up, I'm looking for things that I think, oh, that's nice that happened, and then maybe emphasizing that a little more. Or if something feels a little bit boring, I'll change it up to make it more interesting. So like, I feel like this is boring, like 1, 2, 3. Here, let me play with it with the red pencil and see how I can change it up. So the belly, maybe make the belly a little bit more squared off. And then bring this in. And then this out. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, that's nice, I like that. So I basically flattened out this middle segment. And now instead of 1, 2, 3, it's kind of, I guess, this 1 flat and then 2. When I attach something to something else, I have to think of the cross contour at the edge, right? This is essentially the same as thinking about it right here. It's just that, like, what happens right where they connect? What does that ant trail look like? Right along that connection point. And you want that ant trail at the connection to also just describe the form itself. So this leg isn't really coming at me at all. I might say that we're looking down at it just a little bit. And so in order to make it feel grounded right in here, you round it out like that. Then as I go up, I'm gonna flatten it out just a little. This leg, we're gonna see even more curvature because we're looking down at it and it's going back slightly, so I have to tilt it this way more. And so in relationship to this curve, I'm gonna curve this a little bit more. Like that. And then on the body here, these didn't really do much. They're kind of flat because we're just like looking right at the belly. But the center line is actually gonna do even more to show the roundness because I can really wrap this around the bottom and over this way. Can't really see up here, but right here. And then this way. And that actually also shows the twist. He's pointing this way here, this way here. Oh, I forgot about his little thumb over here. Little nubbin. I'm gonna make the outlines much heavier on these fingers coming at us than I initially did. That will also push this idea that it's closer. See how a lot of things coming together here. We got our shape design, interesting dynamic shapes. We got line weight, and now we're adding this cross contour, and man, everything just kind of starts coming together and looking really nice. Almost like we're good at drawing. All right, last thing left down here is this back arm. And then for the club he's holding, I kind of want it to also feel a little like ginger. So I'm gonna give it little nubs of its own. And actually, instead of just kind of a flat ellipse this way to show like the top plane, instead I'm gonna think of this as like a curve. I don't want a flat plane here. I want it to be more like ginger, where everything is kind of rounded. So I'm gonna show these going around this way. You see how much different it looks now that instead of that flat cap, now I have this whole thing as a round nub. And it's the same shape on the outside, but by changing my cross contours, I completely changed the volume of it. All right, this guy's done. Oh, shoot. Sorry guys. I think I was drawing outside of the window of my screen here. What I was showing you is that originally I had a cap here, and then I added these instead of this, and by doing that, it looks like this is pointing down, it's rounding out in this area. All right, so I have a little bit of room here. I'll maybe do a third really simple little dude. Going with the story here, 'cause I like that this is actually becoming a little story. Maybe having one guy lying on the ground back here like he got hit or something. All right, so it's gonna be a lot of foreshortening. So there's a little body. I'm gonna make this guy kind of cute, so I don't have to draw so many long limbs. It's gonna just be a bunch of nubs. Get this one done a little quicker. So here's his body, and then he's lying down, so we're gonna see the bottom of him. So I'm gonna put a little cross contour there. And that'll help me attach his leg. Okay, leg and foot. And then, like I said, I want to make him cute, so I'm going to give him like a bigger head. There you go. Little dude lying down. Little blobby dude. And now the cross contours are really going to help here. So this head is going back, like the nose is over here, and so really strong curve in the cross contour here, and then in the center line, we're mostly seeing it at the bottom. Same thing here. This leg's going back. This one's going back this way. All right, this guy was quick. Let's get those lines in there. Actually, I don't like this leg going this way. I'm gonna make it come towards us a little more. It's got a foot. See how the way I'm turning the cross contours makes it look like it's like a little S curve of a leg. It's just the angle of the ellipse. Slowly turning this way and then back that way. Alright. My team is calling me in for lunch, so gotta finish this guy up. Really light on these cross contours. I don't want them to stand out more than the outsides, obviously. Generally, cross contour lighter than contour. Let's see, fingers on this. I want this hand to feel like it's relaxed and kind of like bah. So the fingers, I think, actually do add a little bit of that relaxed hand pose. Weird. Okay, it looks like he's doing this. What if I just add a third one? It's weird. There you go. Just the wrong overlap initially. There's a little bit of randomness. And of course, overlaps also just add depth. That's kind of another reason why I sometimes just add these little overlaps occasionally. You know, one, it just looks more like Ginger because you got all these blobby overlaps. But two, it makes it look like there's one form in front of another form. So it creates an additional layer of depth. Every single one of these overlaps, like this over this, this over this, this over this, all of that is like 1, 2, 3, 4, just more and more depth on each one. Whoop. Wrap that around and then over this way. Okay, so I just got back from lunch and I noticed that I didn't indicate the ground plane consistently between these two characters. So like this character, the way his feet are, make it look like the ground plane is pretty flat like this. But this guy looks like he's maybe like on a hill, right? He's kind of turned this way. He's not flat on the ground, or at least not flat on the same ground as he is, right? It's not the same plane. And that's fine if you're just drawing, you know, random ginger people on the page. You could just arrange them however you want. But because this kind of turned out to be a little scene, I just want to fix it because there's an easy fix for this. Like it looks like he's on a hill, so I could just put a hill, right? So like, for example, what I could do is maybe show a little blanket or a towel or something right here, going downward. And then a hill. If we just have the, oh, what kind of pencil am I in? What is this? So if I just put the edge of some kind of bump, a bumpy hill right here. Then it looks like it's not an even surface, and so we can get away with something like this, right? Really easy trick. But, you know, this only works because I'm making up my own universe here, and I could do whatever I want. If I was drawing a city street, well, wouldn't be able to get away with anything. All right, done. That was fun. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and give that a try. This is still the same project as the lobster and the random ginger blobs and the seals. This is all one thing. You choose. This project has a lot of flexibility. You could choose your difficulty level, you choose your subject. But this one seems to be like a really fun one that you could just practice over and over again with, and it'll never really get old. You just create these little characters. We can all come up with this little ginger people world together and have a lineup of characters. That might be really fun. We'll see. Just create your little ginger people in your poses, and we'll see what comes out of it. But anyway, enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. We'll do critiques.